for
We
him.
finally got a dog on the podcast. I cannot tell you how
There
happy
you
I
go.
am.
There you go. The first. Now go away. Stop stealing my limelight.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Interval Conversations. I'm so glad to be joined today by my old friend Tom Milner. You may recognise Tom.
What do you mean, your old friend? Are you still my friend? You're not my old friend. You're my current friend.
Yes, I've known you years. As in
You
an
have,
old.
mate.
Yeah. Well, technically, I used to work for you.
Yes, yeah. You used to come round, didn't you?
Yeah.
Gigging and stuff.
Gigging.
Photos. Yeah, I remember. Back in the day.
Oh yes. But yeah, you may recognise. You will recognise Tom. He's been on The Voice. He was a series regular on Waterloo Road back in the day. And he's been on tour for quite a few shows, so obviously American Idiot as well, still got the programme.
There it is.
And he's done so much over the years. So Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, obviously very strange times at the moment, isn't it? But it's weirdly, I've become more busier during lockdown because I've been doing a lot more writing musically and video editing and things like that. So yeah, I'm good. I mean, earlier on during the epidemic, it was a bit of a struggle because I like a routine, but then I quickly found my feet and I'm all good. How are you?
I'm very good, just keeping myself busy. And sorry, I've just noticed your dog's running, and we've not had a dog on the podcast yet.
I mean, this dog is just always trying to steal my limelight. Right, come on, Vinny, get in here. This is Vinny.
Oh.
He's 20 weeks old, so he's 5 months, and he's my new best mate. He's kept me busy as well. So very thankful for him.
We finally got a dog on the podcast. I cannot tell you how
there
happy
you go.
I am.
There you go. The first. Now go away. Stop stealing my limelight.
So I take it we're in your music studio at the moment.
Yeah, music studio, spare room, man cave. It's my getaway. It's quite messy at the moment because, like I said, I've been so busy. But yeah.
Would you like to talk us through? Like to talk us through it, or?
Yeah. So obviously my guitars. I'm a leftist, so the guitars are few and far between when you're a left-handed guitarist. And then this is my recording mic up here, so I'll do a lot of like my writing on here. And then there's my last two. Well, there's American Idiot, obviously, my CD up there. And then I've got one of my favourites, which is a jumbo guitar there, and then Kelly Jones, who's the lead singer of Stereophonics, signed poster. And just trying to get as many guitars on the walls as I can because obviously they take up so much space, and I live in a 2-bed flat, so it's trying to utilise the space.
So Tom, over the years you've done quite a few shows, professionally in Amdram as well. Yeah. So would you like to tell everyone how you got your start in performing?
How I started?
Yeah.
Well, it was just, I don't know really. I remember watching Pop Idol as a kid and watching Gareth Gates and realising he was from Bradford, which is where I was born, and saying to my mum, like, if he can do it, I can do it. I'm from Bradford. It was that sort of realisation that if he, like, say he can do it, I could do it. And I think he released Unchained Melody, and I just attempted to sing that. And then I sang at the Year 6 Leavers Disco. Yeah. And my head teacher at the time, Mrs. Hamlin, bless her, she called my mum in because all the parents had to wait outside, and she called my mum and she said, come listen to him singing. And then it just went from there. Obviously, my mum was like, right, we're going to sign you up for stage school, in which I went to Stardom in Shelf, which was a massive, amazing learning thing for me. And I'm always in, debt with them. And it just went from there really. And here I am. So I blame the Year 6 Leavers Disco.
So could you tell us about some of your show experiences? Because I know, obviously, what shows you've done over the years. Because I know you've played Troy Bolton, High School Musical. I think the first time I saw you was the Railway Children. All those years. Yeah. Wow. All those years ago.
Yeah, the Amdram circuit was, I think you'll appreciate this as well, in Halifax, they felt like professional shows.
Yeah.
I remember Ben Smith, like it was MDing it and the head of like all the marketing and things. And, obviously he was such a talented person, still is, he's still here.
Sure.
And he's now a pilot, I think. But he
Milan.
created,
he's in Milan.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is it what? But I remember doing High School Musical. That was my first like full-on Amdram show in Halifax, and yeah, I got Troy Bolton, which was a lead, and it was just amazing. Again, felt like a professional show, and it taught me a lot. And Andrew, the director, was amazing, and the team was amazing. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And that's massive in me wanting to carry on doing my career, because it gave me the learning and gave me the teaching. And like I say, it felt like a professional production.
Yeah. So moving on from that, you actually went into professional theatre.
Yeah.
As well. So I know you did Soho Cinders, which is actually one of my favourite musicals. The music's so beautiful in it. Yes, so there was a song in that show called They Don't Make Glass Slippers, and you've put a version of that up on YouTube. So everyone listen to that song. Cannot recommend it enough. Especially because I went to go see Tom in the show.
Did you come all the way to London for that?
Yeah, I came to see it.
Yeah, this podcast is me just owing my life to people, but Sir George and Anthony, Styles and Drew, they were the writers of the music. And I remember I'd auditioned for Loserville a month before the casting came down for Soho Cinders, and the writer of Loserville co-wrote Soho Cinders with Anthony Drew, the book. The script. And I got down to the last few for Loserville, got promised a role in it and didn't get it for some reason. I think it was James Bourne from Busted. We didn't really get along in the audition room, to be honest. No, I never announced that to anyone, but we didn't really
it's an exclusive for you all.
An exclusive for your podcast, mate. And then from that, Elliot was like, well, let's bring him for Soho Cinders. So then I met Vinny, you again taking my limelight. I met Styles and Drew, who were just amazing, because they gave me the first chance. They worked with me in the auditions, and from that I remember getting the role, and then George invited me to his pad, and I sang on his piano, which was a grand piano. I'm sure it was one of Elton John's pianos that he got, and his flat is stunning, a glass like looking out over London. And I remember going, wow, if this is how my career is going to go, then I'm amazing. I'm just always thankful to George and Anthony for giving me the first steps into musical theatre, because it's just a total different ballgame to doing TV acting. Musical theatre, you've got to be able to sing, dance, act, and whilst standing on your head, that's the way it is, and it's live as well. So, and I never had any professional teaching. I never went to any drama college, so my teaching was always on the job, and just so privileged to be able to be taught by amazing industry professionals. And like I say, Glass Slippers was an amazing solo song that I got to sing in the show, and it just went a bit crazy.
Yeah. So moving on, then you were cast in Water Babies, I believe was after that.
Yeah. So I mean, I was lucky enough with Soho Cinders and Water Babies, which was my second musical theatre job, to kind of create the character myself, because it was the first time the production was going. So Water Babies, again, I'd been involved with Water Babies from the workshop stages. So I'd done 3 workshops with them prior to the actual production. So I knew how much effort and how much, money had been pumped into the show. Water Babies was amazing. The music was stunning by Chris Egan, who's a big composer at Abbey Road Studios, just to work with him. Like I said, just to work from the workshop stages up to the production was just great. And then I met some friends for life on that job as well. It was tipped to be the next big thing to go into London. Unfortunately, there was a few little problems with the script and the book, which just didn't work. And then the press just got all of that and just kind of ripped us. But I think musically it was amazing, and it had a lot of potential. It's just a shame that it just didn't take that extra step, because it had some amazing, cast members, Louise Damon and Tom Lister, who again is one of my friends for life. Another great production that I was privileged to be involved with.
Because going off the trailer that I saw for the show, it looked to be a very technical show, or fairly technical as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's what the problem with that show was. They promoted it like it was going to be a film on stage, so it was going to be all the effects, and I think they put on too much hype into that. So when people came to see the show, they expected real water, they expected a swimming pool, and that wasn't the case. So I think they kind of made a rod for their own back in terms of that. which didn't help him either. But yeah, like I say, it was amazing to be involved with Guy Jones, who wrote the book, Ed Curtis, who directed, and Chris Egan. Yeah, amazing. Just a learning curve for me, Nathan, because my dad always says to me, the minute you stop learning, the minute you might as well tap out of whatever you're doing. And so I've never stopped learning, and just being able to get the learning experience whilst on a job is something that not many actors have done. So yeah, I'm always thankful for that.
Yeah. Because going ahead a few more years, you got cast in American Idiot.
Yeah.
I came to see you in it in Bradford, and like I was saying earlier, I've known you 10 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
And the scene where your character is breaking down and it's just silence on stage was one of the hardest scenes I've ever had to watch on stage, because that's one of my friends. Wow, Jesus.
Yeah.
It was so well done. So how did American Idiot come up?
So I took a break from the industry for about 2-3 years, just because I've done it since I was 13. I was just a bit tired, and I just needed to. I wanted normality. People used to say to me, "What do you mean you want normality?" I wanted to wake up at 7 every morning, go to do a job, and come home. I just wanted that kind of thing in my life. So that was so important for me to think when I got back into the auditioning, that I really wanted the job, because I call it 2 parts of my career. The first part, towards the end, I didn't want any of the jobs. I did, but I wasn't passionate enough to get it.
Yeah.
Whereas I came back into it, really wanted to get the jobs, and I've got an amazing agent who's the best one, touch wood, and he's my friend now, called Alex France, Tilsey France, who's just he's amazing. We're on the same direction with stuff. So yeah, American Idiot was the second audition, I think, back in the industry, and Raki Plews is a director that I've always heard a name on the circuit, and I've always heard great things about her. So I always wanted to work with Raki. Now I know the production had done it 3 times before. I met her for another job, and then I didn't go for the recall audition because I was too busy. I think at the time, I was on a cruise ship or something like that. And then I bumped into a drunk in London after I'd done West End Live.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd had a few beers, and she was like, "Milner, where were you?" And I was like, trying to make an excuse why I wasn't at the recalls. And she was like, "Anyway, I'll see you for American Idiot." So I went to I think I did 2 or 3 auditions for American Idiot, and we're just in the audition room, myself and Raki, first and foremost, got on, and we just knew that we wanted to make it work. So yeah, I got that role again, thanks to her. And yeah, it was kind of a big pressure, because I know there's been some amazing actors that have done that role before. And I knew that they'd swooped up awards and been spoke about in the industry about being amazing at this particular role. So there's a kind of a lot of burden on my shoulders, really, to try and, even attempt to get anywhere near him. And luckily, Raki she wanted the production to be same in certain terms, but when it came to acting choices, she was amazing at going, make this your own. So yeah, the scene that you were just talking about, where it was silent, that was the intense drug scene at the start of Act 2. Yeah. Me and Raki would put loads of hours into just real researching drug abusers, and it was horrific to do, but we had to do it. And as you said, being my friend watching it, the amount of people that came up to me and said, people walked out, Nathan, through it, because they were just I'd be in the zone, but I'd just see doors going and people just walking out, because it was so intense. It was horrific, and I appreciate watching it. I think if I was watching it, I'd be a bit like, well, this is a bit too much. But you really had to go there for the story to work and to understand my character and how destructive he was going. So yeah,
I think what made that scene as well. Sorry to put it. That scene, you literally could hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
that's it. And literally, when you were in Bradford as well, my friend Cheeser, he works as a flyman there, and apparently the first night it was like, just went on cancer. Why has it gone silent? What's going on? So no one told him about that. And obviously, because the set, it was blocking his view. And apparently, someone went on cans back to him. It's all right. You just have to stay quiet. Milner's shooting up.
Milner shooing up. It's like I say, a horrendous scene. And my friend Dean Smith came to see it. Dean, I was in Waterloo Road with Dean. He's done a lot of TV since, and he came to see it in Manchester. And he was sat right at the back of the stalls at the Palace, which is a massive theatre. And afterwards, he said what you said. He said, "Mate, I genuinely wanted to come up on stage and go, Milner, come on, stop this." He got on a personal level with it. Which people come to see. I can imagine him doing that. Like, what is he doing? What is he like? I know him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I can imagine it being there. But again, I always say when you see actors going up for awards, whether it's in TV, film, theatre, the person that's got to take all the accolade or most of the accolade is the writers and the directors that give that actor that chance to go and do that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's it's big risk on their behalf as well. And I as much as people were saying how amazing that scene was, which it was amazing to act, and I never did it the same. I was, how raw it was. It had to be how I felt at the time. Just the support I had from it. I just thank Raki for that, because she put that scene in actually. That wasn't scripted in the Broadway version, because the show was on Broadway before it came over here, and she just wanted to put it in. So a great vision from her as a director.
Yeah. So over the years, has there been any personal highlights for you within the theatre? I know we've touched upon American Idiot a fair bit and Soho Cinders.
Yeah.
Has there been any personal highlights? So working with a certain person, a certain production?
Yeah, there has. I mean, recently, so just before American Idiot, I was in a show at the Belgrade Theatre in Coventry. Called We'll Live and Die in These Towns, and I played Archie, who suffered from anxiety and panic attacks, and he was a rock star, a famous rock star. And it's a great show written by Jeff Thompson, and that was such an intimate, tiny theatre. So it wasn't in the main theatre at the Belgrade; it was in like a studio theatre. But it was the musical was based from an album which I grew up listening to from a band called The Enemy, and it was called We'll Live and Die in These Towns. So I grew up. The Enemy was on par with Arctic Monkeys being my favourite band when I was gigging back in the day. And then the lead singer of The Enemy, who wrote them songs, was the musical director on that job as well.
Oh, wow.
So I got to work with my hero growing up, singing songs that I sang when I was younger, whilst acting. So that job for me is a particular highlight. And Tom Clark, who was the writer and singer of the band, is now one of my good friends, and it's that musical there, the poster there.
Oh yeah.
That's probably one of my highlights working in the industry, and I don't think it'll be top, to be honest, because again, it was just meant to be. I remember my agent ringing me saying, I've got an audition for you called a breakdown for a musical called We'll Live and Die in These Towns. Straight away, I knew the album, and I was like, "This is about The Enemy. Yeah. I'm going for it. When can I?" And I did 2 auditions, and then got the call, and that was my first job back from the break that I had. Which so that was a particular highlight of my career so far.
So, what is it like being on tour with a show like American Idiot? What's it like tour-wise? Like travel, doing shows in these beautiful venues.
Yeah, so it's quite draining, if I'm being honest. Obviously, as you saw the show, I were never off the stage in American Idiot, so it was mentally draining as it is, and then travelling on top of that. So you do Tuesday till Saturday, and then 9 times out of 10 you have to stay the Saturday night in whatever city or town you were in, because you couldn't get a train or it'd be too long to drive. So you'd be away, and then you'd be home Sunday, Monday, and then usually the Tuesday morning I would travel to the venue, or sometimes the Monday evening, depending where we were. So it did take its toll, if I'm honest, Nathan, but amazing to go see some great places that I've never been to. Different theatres, different sizes. That was we had to change the show. We had to cut the set down. We had to cut dance routines. We had to cut so much stuff in different venues. So each venue was completely different, which kept the production on its toes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Rather than it being in one theatre for 6 months. So it was challenging, like I say, draining, travelling a lot, but great to see places that I hadn't seen before. Ireland, Dublin, in particular, was amazing, and then New Zealand was great as well.
Yeah. So, do you have a favourite theatre from the tour?
Wow. Um, ye- it depends. Like some of the audiences were better in some
Mm.
places. We suited actually, from my opinion, we suited the more intimate venues. I really liked that.
Yeah.
I think we got drowned out at places like Edinburgh because that is like I mean, they call it the Barn. It's
Yeah.
massive. I think they call it the UK's Broadway.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Gaiety in Dublin was stunning. I really like the old theatres. One in Brighton's really nice as well.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't really think I could choose which one really. No, Gaiety was stunning though, Dublin.
Yeah. So it must be nice over in New Zealand as well.
Oh yeah, New
Always
Zealand
wanted
was.
to go.
Yeah, that wasn't in the initial contract when I got the job.
Yeah.
Halfway through the production, we got asked if we wanted to do the New Zealand leg, and it had been 2 months from when we finished the UK leg. So yeah, some members of the cast didn't do it. Originally, I wasn't signed up to do it because I was going up for a few more auditions that I nearly got. So I'd have probably jumped onto that if I'm being honest. But then, luckily, New Zealand, yeah, it happened for me. Somewhere that I never thought I'd be ever able to say that I'd go because I'm quite a scared flyer. So
Yeah.
so the fact that I had to go made me go, and yeah, what a place! If you've like I say never been, like you've got to get out there because it's just beauty. I remember me putting pictures up on my social media and people thinking I was superimposing to backgrounds. It was that stunning.
Very Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's what it shot, wasn't it? So yeah.
So, moving on from theatre, you've done a lot of TV work over the years as well. So people will probably recognise you most from as a series regular on Waterloo Road. So, could you
Yeah.
tell us about that and all your other?
Yeah, so I mean, I've started watching Waterloo Road again because it's on BBC iPlayer at the moment, and during this, I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna. So our neighbour lives next door. We've got like a big communal area out here. So he sits one side of the corridor. Me and my wife sit at the other end of the corridor, and we put a lat for them and we watch it. And it's just amazing. Like it feels like a part of my life that never happened because I was
Yeah.
so young and I didn't understand what I had. It was just it was just such a blur looking back on it now, and it was quite a while ago. But again, that was obviously the job which gave me the break. The job which I worked with some magnificent actors, Neil Morrissey, who I messaged actually a couple of weeks ago when we got Vinny, because he's a massive dog lover and he's an ambassador for so many dog charities. So I just sent a picture of Vinny saying, here's our new friend, and he sent me a message back saying he was beautiful. So yeah, it's working with like Neil and Eva Pope, people like that was just, again, just being able to learn from them. And then being my friends as well, and just watching their careers now. It's just it just feels like a blur. But again, just keep my career off. It was a series which was very successful. It won loads of awards, and yeah, just lucky for that one.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about barking?
Yeah, my
Sure.
first ever job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I went to Hippodrome and Likely School for 2 years. So in year 8, my mum mentioned a school in Leeds called Intake, which was a specialised performing arts college. And yeah, she was like, "You should really go for it." So I went to meet the principal, and it had some great people come out of there: Jack Shepherd, Mel B, Kimberly Walsh, Girls Aloud. It had quite a good name of talented people that had left and done very well. So I joined that school, and within 5 days, CITV, the production company, were searching schools for a family to go onto a TV program called Barking, about a talking dog. So my drama teacher was like, "You're new. We're probably not going to put you in. We don't know what your ability is." And I was like, "Miss, come on, please." So she was like, "Okay, I'll put you in." And then later on that afternoon, she said, "Oh, by the way, they've changed the casting bracket now. The kid that they're looking for's got to be blonde haired. So, sorry, you're not auditioning again." And I was like, "Damn!" And then later on that day, she was like, "Right, they changed it again. You can go and audition for it." Thank God. So then they came into the school, and then I had like 4 rounds. Went to ITV Studios, and then I got the job, and I was in that for 3 years, and I never. So I joined the school. 5 days later, I'd left the school and filming this children's program, and I had a tutor on set who was the same tutor as Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley, Harry Potter. So I used to be able to get out of doing any schoolwork by talking or asking him questions about Harry Potter. To which 2 hours later, he's still on these stories, and then I had to go back on set and film, so I never did any schoolwork. So people ask me why have I not got any GCSEs? That is the reason.
But Harry Potter
again was Harry Potter, Rupert Grint. Barking was my first job. Again, massive learning curve. I was living away from home as well, which was quite tough. I was always a bit of a homeboy, especially when I was younger, and still am. But I live in London now, so not much of a homeboy. But barking was great, my first job, and again, I owe a lot to that company for giving me the first chance in a TV kids program.
Now I have to ask, because you appeared on The Voice as well, so Team Ricky. What was it like to audition and then be on the show?
Yeah, I've never. Do you know what, Nathan? I've never actually spoke about The Voice to people. When friends or close members ask me about it, I just always kind of just polish over it because I don't really like to go into details about it. But basically, I got asked through a message from a casting director saying that, look, The Voice are after some singers, and I think you'd be great to go on it. And for years, I'd had, even my mum and dad and friends and family saying, go on the X Factor, go on the X Factor. And I just didn't really want to do it, if I'm being honest. And that's not from an arrogant way. It was just from a way of, I just didn't like reality TV, if I'm being honest.
And we both know Big
when I went to The Voice.
We both know Big Tony, and he's told us a few stories.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. So you listen to them sort of stories, and you kind of just like, oh. So I remember, going for the first audition, which was like kind of a bit behind a closed. So I didn't have to queue up with all the, people that had had to apply. I went down a different route, but I started to audition in front of 3 different producers, 3 different times. And I think the first audition process, there was 50,000 people. And then the first TV audition, so before you even get the chair turn, that's the last 100 people. So you've narrowed that down from 50,000 to 100 already. Then if you get a chair turn, I think you're down to the last 48 of the show.
Yeah.
So I did very well in that. The only thing is that I never worked with Ricky, who got the chair turn. I worked with different vocal coaches. One of them has done very well in the industry, but she didn't help what I was trying to achieve as a singer. She gave me some stuff which I didn't really like, if I'm being honest. And obviously she'd been in the industry a lot longer than me being a vocal coach, so I listened to her and I took her advice, and it just really, it's like kind of describing to a sprinter runner, right? You're going to do a marathon, I want you to win it. It's different type of running, and what she was telling me to do singing was completely different to what I was used to, how I sang. So then I remember going out for the first audition, having worked with her for a few weeks on how to sing this song and how she wanted me to sing it, going, well, I either now go start how I want to sing, or I do what she wants me to do. And I just thought, you know what, you get this opportunity once. So I started how I wanted to sing it. I changed the song completely how we'd been rehearsing it. And then you don't hear the voice, like like when the chair turns and it goes boom. You don't hear that. That's a sound effect that they put over in post production.
Yeah.
So I was singing away, just thinking, well, whatever. And I looked, and Ricky's chair was turned. So I was like, wow. So rather than thinking I've got to prove to him now, I just went, right, sod it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I started jumping around the stage and looking like an idiot. But the truth is, the morning of that audition, I got really nervous and really panic attacking and anxious that I rang Claire, who was in the hotel room, and I said, I'm look, pack the case, I'm going home. I'm not doing this audition. I just didn't feel it was the right thing to do. And Claire said to me, if you're doing it because you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you're doing it because your brain's telling you you're not doing it, that's not okay. So I did the audition. People always think that I'm a really confident person, and actually I'm not. I've got to become an act myself to get on a stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a big learning curve. Like I say, I speak to Ricky now and again. I've got his email and things like that. But you didn't unfortunately you don't work with those celebrity coaches, you know.
Just for the
But
cameras.
just for the cameras. But from that, I earned some friends for life. People who were in the production as contestants as well. They're friends for life now. So yeah, some good came from it.
Yeah. So, what is next for you once it's all safe? Like, what projects have you got coming up?
Yeah, so I've had a few self-tapes at the start of the epidemic, and obviously the productions can't say whether it's going ahead because no one knows, especially in theatre, what is happening. So it could probably take 2 years, I reckon, at least for things to get going again. Because there's productions that have obviously been stopped that will have to go back on again, and then they'll extend because they didn't have the time in the theatres. So I think there won't be as many jobs. So I'm writing at the moment. I'm doing my stuff, which I've never been able to do and I've never found time to do, whereas now I can. So I'm writing my own music, and that's what I want to kind of just focus on at the moment. And yeah, just whatever comes, really. I'm actually really enjoying just being in my place.
Yeah.
Because I've not done that in years, and being able to have time with Claire and Vinny now, so I'm just really enjoying that. But yeah, TV is something that I really want to get back involved with. I've had a break from that for years. I think the last thing I did was Starlings or Holby. I can't remember which one it was. Or The Voice, but I don't class that as well. It is TV, but not like an acting role. So I'd like to get back into that if possible. But I don't, I want to get into. I loved the nitty gritty theatre that I did with American Idiot and We'll Live and Die in These Towns. I really enjoyed them. Good acting roles on stage as well. So yeah, years ago, I'd always say, right, I just want to do this. I just want to do theatre. Or I just want to do TV. And in this industry, you can't really do that because you're chopping off 50% of the work. You've got to really be open to a lot of things. And when the breakdown comes in, then you can go, actually, that's not right for me. And that's, again, going back to the relationship with Alex France, my agent. Is an amazing person personally, and is an amazing person at understanding me and going, okay, and understands why sometimes I'd be like, I can be a bit of a nightmare when when I'm like, I don't want to go do that job for this reason. He's amazing at understanding it, and then we'll discuss that. So yeah, I'm really thankful for him. He's not pushy. He understands my needs and what I need from the industry, and I understand his as well. So yeah, I'm really thankful to him.
So, last question: do you have any advice for anyone wanting to get into this wonderful industry once it's safe?
Yeah, be a plumber. Don't
come into a proper job.
No, yeah, get a proper job. Any advice for people is, people used to say it to me, go and get a diploma or some GCSEs or something in something else first as a backup. But for me, don't come into the industry thinking that you're going to be the next big thing, because 9 times out of 10 you're not. And there's always someone that's better than you. And if you go with that mentality and you do the best of your own ability and you enjoy it, then you've cracked it. It's like any job. If you can say to the next person, I enjoy my job and I go to work and I enjoy it, then you've succeeded at life, because in life we spend majority of our time at work. And in whatever you're doing, whether you're performing, whether you're working in a restaurant, if you can say you go and enjoy that, you've made a massive tick. So yeah, if you come into the industry, just enjoy it and then just take it one step at a time. Don't listen to a lot of people either. I mean, in terms of actors, they can really feed you and steer you off a track. Just concentrate on your game, your lane, and then hopefully, yeah, you take off. So that's a big advice. That's a big advice.
Some really good advice. So yeah, Tom, thank you for joining me. It's been brilliant to see you.
Mate, so good to see you, and I wish you the best with this podcast.
Thank you. Right, stay safe.
You stay safe,
Yeah.
and
So
yeah.
people can find you on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on most social media. I'm having a bit of a break from Twitter. I'm still on there, but I just found it quite negative at the moment. So but yeah, I'm on Instagram. Yeah, at Tom K Milner, Facebook Tom Milner Music. So yeah, find me there.
Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Interval Conversations. See you next time.